Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Mark, and today I want to do something a little bit different. I wanted to talk about how to move to Saipan. I did another video about why you might want to move to Saipan. I'll leave a link to that video in the description. You can check it out if you like. But today what I wanted to focus on, okay, let's say you've already made the decision. You decided that you want to move to Saipan. Now I'm going to focus in this video about how to move to Saipan. First I wanted to reiterate, wait, I gotta wipe myself off here. Got sand all over my arms. Okay, I want to reiterate or refresh a little bit about why you might want to move here. Basically, the U.S. is being taken over by communism. Whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, doesn't matter. It's a fact. And the bills that are going through right now just prove more of what I'm talking about. The Chinese are working with the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, is working with the government of the United States right now to implement communism in the United States. It's a fact, it's happening. If you research it, the more you research, the more you learn what I'm talking about is true. So, what are you going to do? You're going to stay there? No, the thing about it is, the biggest thing you got to realize or accept is that everyone who is supposed to be defending the United States and protecting the United States are not doing their jobs. They're actually assisting the communists in taking over. They're not fighting it at all. The police in the swing states helped enforce the election fraud that took place. They didn't try to stop it. They didn't try to regulate it. They didn't play fair. They enforced the Democratic side of the situation. Then the Supreme Court legal people, they didn't do anything to stop it. Pence didn't do anything to stop it. The military didn't do anything to stop it. As a matter of fact, the leader of the military tried to stage a coup against President Trump. So, and then the head of the Pentagon, he's not trying to stop it. All these people who are responsible for protecting the United States and defending the Constitution, which they all swore to defend, are not doing their job. So you got to decide what you're going to do. You're going to stay, you're going to leave. I chose to leave, and if you're making that same decision, the first thing I did was I set 2 weeks aside to make sure I knew what I was doing, to make that decision. And every night I went online and researched the facts on YouTube to make sure what I am experiencing, is it real? You know, I had to base everything in facts and make sure that I double-checked everything and made sure that if I'm making such a huge decision, that I'm gonna make the right decision. So I took a couple of weeks, thought everything through, and then I made the decision. Once I made the decision, I had to separate everything emotionally. You cannot be emotional when you make a decision like this, because it's just going to add to the stress. If you got kids and stuff like that, it may make it a little bit more difficult, but the fact of the matter is, you got to focus on the logistics, focus on the facts. Separate the emotion, because the emotion's just going to cloud your mind and make everything more difficult. So what do you got to do? You got to focus on what you need to do to move to Saipan if you've decided that that's what you're going to do. The first thing I did was I bought a plane ticket, because I was saying, okay, I'm going to leave maybe a month or so from now, but I'm going to buy my plane ticket now. That kind of locked me into the decision, because otherwise I might have put it off for a couple of months, you know, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to, once I made the decision that this is something I was definitely going to do, I bought the plane ticket. And after I bought the plane ticket, then I was motivated to sell everything I owned. I see a lot of Americans coming here, and some of them are having a difficult time trying to figure out how to sell their stuff. At the time when I left, I sold everything on eBay. As soon as I left, like the second I sold my last item, eBay changed all their policies. Prior to, when I was selling stuff on eBay, eBay didn't have direct access to your bank account. Now, that's part of eBay's policy, is to have direct access to your bank account. And the reason why is so that if any of your customers have a dispute, eBay can automatically directly pull the money straight out of your bank account. And that's getting a lot of people scared away from eBay, and me included. At that time when they passed that new rule, I stopped doing eBay. But if you're okay with that idea, I sold $10,000 worth of my stuff on eBay. So you can sell a lot of stuff on eBay, and the problem is you got to pack it up and ship it. And if anyone complains, eBay's automatically going to take the buyer's side over your side. That's another thing. I had one dispute. I sold $10,000 worth of stuff. I only had one dispute. But basically, it boils down to this. I told the guy, okay, UPS is willing to reimburse you for damages if you prove that there's damage. And what he had to do is take this thing to the electronics store and get a letter from the electronics store proving what the damage was, or an estimate. He never went and did that, so that pretty much called his bluff. But I sold a lot of stuff on eBay, and you can too if that's what you want to do. You can also sell it on Craigslist. You can sell stuff on some other sites too, not just eBay. But anyways, it's not that difficult to sell stuff online, especially if you have a local thing. I sold a lot of stuff at the swap meet. If you guys have a swap meet in your area, that's a really good way to get rid of some stuff. I sold $1,000 worth of my stuff at the swap meet in San Diego. So anyways, after you sell your stuff, then and you buy your plane ticket and you got that part of the planned out. I had a lot of stuff that was really sentimental, and I was like, I can't sell this stuff. One of them was a guitar that I had custom made for me. I think I spent like almost $3,000 on it, and I couldn't part with it because I had it custom made just for me. And that's kind of yeah, it might have a few things that are kind of sentimental to you. If it's not sentimental, I would say get rid of it. You can buy anything online and have it shipped here to Saipan. They have US Postal Service, they have UPS, they have DHL, and they have FedEx. So you can buy stuff online and have it shipped here. So if it's not sentimental, get rid of it. And you should be able to figure out a way to sell it somehow. And then you'll have that money to be able to use to come here. If you have something that you absolutely positively cannot part with, I shipped my stuff through Triple B Forwarding. That's Triple B Forwarding. Go online, look them up, give them a call or email them. They'll tell you how much basically you have to measure every single thing that you have, or every single box that you're going to ship, and weigh it. But on top of that, you need to write out a list of exactly every single thing that you're packing in the box. And this is primarily for customs, because customs gets really picky about what you're shipping. And also, don't ship any food, because it runs into all kinds of problems. I mean, you can ship food, but it's not worth it. Just don't ship any food, don't ship any alcohol, anything like that. Just regular material, household goods, you're not going to have too much of a problem. But make sure you itemize every single thing that's in the boxes, because if you don't, customs will pull the whole thing off and tear open every single box, and it could take months before you get your stuff. But anyways, check out Triple B Forwarding. They're the primary shippers to Saipan. And the only thing you got to do there is you're going to have to rent a U-Haul, pack all your stuff up, and or they have moving companies that'll pack your stuff up and take it to Triple B Forwarding. Triple B Forwarding works with moving companies that'll help you do that as well. But that's something that you're going to have to make some phone calls, make some emails, and you'll be able to figure out those logistics for that stuff. After you get here, you're going to spend 5.5 days in quarantine. So prepare yourself for that. There's no way around it. You're going to have to get your vaccine, and you're going to have to get tested before you get on the plane. And one particular thing I want to mention is that I got tested 3 times before I got on the plane. I got tested twice, and the people who tested me didn't post the stuff online. I had no verification that I had been tested. And when I got on the plane, they had to see in paper, in writing, from a doctor that you've been tested. If you don't have any proof that you've been tested, they're not going to let you on the plane. You need to know that, because I wound up spending $100 to literally, when I got to LAX, I wound up running to a doctor that was 24 hours to get tested one more time. So it was 3 times I got tested before I wound up getting on the plane. And I already was vaccinated. Didn't matter. You can show your vaccination card, they don't care. You got to be tested, and you got to have proof that you were tested. And so then, if you got that piece of paper that says you were tested within, I think it's like 24 hours or 48 hours prior to getting on the plane, then you're all set to go. But don't forget that step, because if you do, it's going to be a headache. Whoa, I got water. It's going to be a headache. Let me move the camera a little bit because the water's starting to come up. Okay, so don't forget the vaccine and the testing. You're going to have to get tested before you get on the plane, and then they're going to test you when you get off the plane. And once you get here, they're going to test you, and then they're going to throw you in a hotel room for 6 days. The government pays for the hotel room. That's another thing that I wasn't sure about when I got here. I didn't know if I was going to have the money for the hotel room. But from my understanding, the government pays for it. They didn't charge me. The government pretty much has funding for the COVID stuff to pay for the hotel room. So the quarantine is paid for by the government. Because they didn't charge me, so I'm assuming it was paid for by the government. They didn't ask me for any money. So. Anyways, after you get out of quarantine, there's lots of hotel rooms available if you need a hotel room. And they have a shuttle that'll take you from the quarantine hotel to whatever hotel you want to go to. And then once you get ready to rent a place, that's the one good thing about Saipan, is that the real estate is really cheap. I rented a place for $250 a month. It's a studio. But prior to that, I looked at several other places. I looked at a couple of 2-bedroom apartments for $350, and for $500 you can basically get almost anything you want. If you have $500 a month to spend, you can get almost anything you want. I looked at a house. I think it was a 4-bedroom house for $600, but I didn't take it. But there's more abandoned houses than you can count around here. So real estate is not a problem here. Once you get here, you'll be able to find a place pretty easy. The one thing that you do have to consider is how you're going to make money once you get here. Because I thought, I've had a couple of businesses before I came here, and I thought I was going to be able to set up a computer repair business or something like that. They don't need, there's a lot of things here that they don't need. There's like 3 or 4 computer repair businesses here already. They didn't need that. So if they don't have a need for it, you're not going to be able to come here and set up a business if they don't need it. If there's more, they have more of that type of business, then if they don't have a need for it, then you're not going to be able to make an income from it. They don't have any 7-Elevens here. They don't have any Walmarts. They don't have any Home Depots. They don't have any big box stores. You need to get used to that idea. Because once you get here, you need to think about it like you're going to another country, because this place is nothing like anywhere in the United States. It's not even like Guam. Guam has Home Depot. Guam has Kmart's. Guam has all of the American restaurants. This place has Taco Bell and Kentucky Fried Chicken, but I think it's like in one of the it's a compact little area, and they have a mini McDonald's and they have a regular size McDonald's. They have a Pizza Hut, but that's about it. For American style stores, that's about it. There are a lot of Asian restaurants here and a lot of Asian grocery stores, but there's nothing that even looks like a 7-Eleven here. If you wanted to come here and open up a 7-Eleven franchise, you'd probably do really well. You do really well if you open up a 7-Eleven franchise. If you got that kind of money, yeah, you do really well. Or if you had enough to be able to set up one of the big box store franchises, you do really well. There's a lot of little hardware stores around here, maybe 3 or 4 hardware stores, maybe more than that. But there's no big box stores. There's no Home Depot. There's no Lowe's, nothing like that. And so that's something you're going to have to get used to. Even pizza places, there is a Pizza Hut. I don't think, they might have a Domino's, but I haven't seen one if they do. They have a couple of pizza places that are like not American style, and if you really fixated on American style pizza, it might be a little difficult. But and that's another thing I wanted to mention is that the style of living here, when you need something, in the US there's a half a dozen stores you can go and buy something. Almost any little town in the United States has a lot of stores that you can go and buy something. Here, like if I needed a pair of pants, for example, I would have to actually go and look, where can I even buy a pair of pants? And there are a few stores that sell pants, but do they have my size? That's another thing. Do they have the style that I want? It's not like the United States at all. That's what I'm trying to get across. That's the main point I'm trying to get across. It's not like the United States. It's not even like the Philippines. In the Philippines, you have a sari store on every corner. You have people selling barbecue on the street and stuff like that. It's not like that here either. You have places you can go for barbecue. You have places that you can go to buy something. Like where I'm living at, if the store that's right underneath me doesn't have what I want, I gotta walk about a quarter to a half mile just to get to another store. So it's not convenient at all. You're probably gonna have to drive around to most of the places, so you should have enough money to buy a car if you're planning to come here. Unless you like to walk or ride a bike like I do, but it's not convenient. There's not that many jobs here, so you need to, if you're a retiree, you should be in good shape because the rent is really cheap here. If you're getting your money from the government, you should be in good shape. But I don't think those people who are getting COVID assistance, I don't think you can come from the US to here and still maintain your COVID status. Because once you leave the area that you're at, I don't think they're gonna allow you to get money from the government after that. Everything pretty much is still closed here, so if you're thinking about getting a job, there's almost no jobs available here. If you're a dentist or a doctor or something like that, you can probably open up an office and run a pretty good business. There are some businesses that this place could really use. Like I said, if you have enough money to be able to invest in a 7-Eleven franchise, you'd probably kill it here. There's no Starbucks here. But I think if somebody had enough money to be able to buy a Starbucks franchise and open it up here, you'd probably kill it. These guys really love not necessarily the Starbucks style, but they like this stuff with the little rice balls in it and all these different kind of shakes and smoothies and stuff like that. They really love that stuff here, and a lot of the different coffee shops here sell that kind of stuff. But I think a Starbucks would probably do all right here as well, but they don't have any Starbucks here at all, so you got to get used to that. They have coffee shops, but they're nothing like a Starbucks. A little bit similar, but nothing like a Starbucks really. They don't have a Jamba Juice. They don't have any Carl's Jr.'s. They don't have any Jack in the Box. None of that stuff. So that's one thing you got to get used to. But what this place does offer you is it's got a sense of security and freedom that you don't have, that you're not experiencing in the United States. This place is under the jurisdiction of the United Nations, so it doesn't have to follow the laws of the United States. So in that respect, you escape all the BS that you're experiencing in the United States. So that's what this place offers you. It offers you an escape from all the stress and craziness that's going on in the United States right now. This offers you an escape from all that. So if you're a retiree that you're kind of getting old and stuff, you can't handle all the stress that's going on in the United States, you don't want to sit around and see what's going to happen, come to Saipan. If you're a real estate agent, there's real estate all over here, but technically you can't actually buy the land. You can only do a lease, a land lease, but they do like 50-year, 100-year land leases like that, but they don't actually let you buy the land. that's something I'm not really that familiar with, but you can go online and read about that a little bit more if you're interested in that aspect of it. But I do see a lot of real estate people that come here, and you can do really well because there's a lot of abandoned hotels and stuff like that here, and you could probably, if you're willing to buy it and then wait until everything's over with this COVID thing, you could really cash in, I think anyways. And if you're a retiree who wants to buy a house, or like I said, they only do these like 50-year land leases, but you can still get a house, and you can get a good deal on a house because the real estate prices here are way cheaper than the U.S., way cheaper, and you're on an island. You know, I mean, this is essentially like paradise. But another thing you gotta be aware of is the heat. The heat is just outrageous, man. You gotta carry one of these sweat rags around most of the time if you're from the U.S. The locals not so much, they're pretty much acclimated, but if you're just coming from the U.S., you're gonna have to wind up carrying around a towel because you're gonna sweat non-stop, profusely. And if you're not sweating, you're gonna get rained on. Like it rained a little bit earlier today, and yeah, you're either gonna be wet from the rain or wet from sweat, and you're gonna have to get used to that idea. But it's a beautiful place. It's a peaceful place. It's more peaceful than any state that I've ever lived in the United States. You don't have to worry so much about being attacked or mugged or robbed, or even, I don't see people even worrying about regular theft, like people stealing stuff. I see people leaving shit out all over the place and it don't get stolen. So even, and I've been in a couple abandoned places and they're not vandalized. So you have a different culture here as far as that is concerned. But what I see in that is what I expected in that I was thinking, if this is a good place to come and raise a family, this is a really good place to come and raise a family. So if that's what you're thinking, yeah, this is a really good place to come and raise a family. If you're a professional that can create a business, that can help the community, and I think you do really well here. If that's your goal, is to come here and raise a family, I think you do really well. Well, I hope you like this video. I'll post some more like it in the future. But if you have any questions, I'll put my email in the description below. You can just shoot me an email and I'll answer any questions that you have, or you can comment below and I'll look at the comments and answer the comments if you have any questions about it. But yeah, this is a good alternative to what's going on in the United States. I was living in Mexico. I didn't want to leave Mexico, but I couldn't legally live in Mexico. So this is a good alternative. It's a beautiful place. It's a nice place to live. The people are really cool, and I think anybody who's coming from the U.S. to escape all that stuff, I think you do really well here if you have a means to survive. If you're a YouTuber and you got money coming in from YouTube and most of your content is like just dialogue, you'll do really well here. Yeah, so if you like this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you want, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.